Hello and welcome to World History. We are looking at our world leaders this week, and here is our list of world leaders. We have Brazil, Michel Temer, Syria, Bashar al-Assad, and Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Okay, and we'll go ahead and locate those on our map. All right, you have the lovely finger, the pointer finger. It's important. Okay, so here we have Brazil is over here. It is a Portuguese-speaking country, and it is over in South America. And then over here in the Middle East, we have Turkey, and then right below we have Syria, and they both are very close to Russia. Okay. Right. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So, the first person we're going to look at is Michel Temer from Brazil. Here's some pictures of him. Very interesting life. He's the 37th president. He was a vice president, and they actually impeached the last president of Brazil. He recently got married. Well, not recently. A few years ago, because they have a son already together. His wife is 43 years younger than he is. Very interesting. He is Catholic Lebanese. He was a Lebanese immigrant. His parents moved to Brazil. He's the youngest child, and he was a lawyer. Their term limit is 4 years and can only be renewed one time. They call them the president. He has written several books, and one book was a book of poems that he wrote. And as he was traveling back and forth on political assignments or meetings, he would write poems on napkins. And he compiled a book, Anonymous Intimacy is the name of his poetry book. So this is a president that writes poetry. Very interesting. Let's take a look at him. All right, there he is with our president. Okay. Oh my, having a bad day. Brazilian flag in the background. Okay. The next person we're going to look at is Bashar al-Assad. As you know, he is in the news quite a bit recently because of the chemical weapons that they believe that Syria has targeted their own people, and that's what the United Nations believes is happening. So he is the president of Syria. They're supposed to be 7 years elected and then renewed one time, but there's some things that don't add up, numbers. First of all, his father was the president before him, so he kind of became an heir to the presidential, to be president. His older brother died in a car wreck shortly before he became president. He is on trial for crimes in international criminal courts because this is not the first time that he has been highly suspected of chemical weapon use against his own people. And this is really because of the Arab Spring. And Arab Spring is one of your words that you might see on the exam. Arab Spring is, of course, Middle Eastern countries that are trying to rise up against dictatorships and get more human rights, more equal rights. And that is exactly what Assad is using, these chemical weapons on the Arab Spring at the people who are protesting their treatment. So he's supposed to be president for 7 years and then reelected only one time, but he's been president since 2000. So that's 2018 years. So he's overdone his limit. His father was the former president. His name was Hafez, and he was president from 1971 to 2000. So we got 29 years. So sometimes they say that there's, they're presidents and it's not really legit. Okay. His wife is a British citizen, although she has roots in Syria. They have 3 children. He is fluent. Al-Assad is fluent in English, and he can speak French in conversation. He is the son of a former president. He was born in Damascus. He grew up in Damascus, Syria. He wanted to be an ophthalmologist. Actually, he's been to medical school. And then when his older brother died, he was sent to the military academy out of medical school to be kind of trained to be the next president. So let's take a look at some pictures of him. That's his wife right there. All right. Here she is again. She is a British citizen. Here she is again. She's got some good hair. All right. Okay. Next person is the leader of Turkey. Okay. He is the president of Turkey. He was also the prime minister, so they have a prime minister as well. And in this case, you kind of have to look it up, and the president is the head of state. Usually, when there's both, the prime minister is the head of state, but that's not how it works. He was also the mayor of Istanbul, and his name is Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The picture of him. And their presidential, how long they serve as president is 5 years, renewable 1 time. As a teenager, he sold lemonade and sesame seeds in Istanbul. He was a semi-pro football player, which probably is soccer, I'm thinking. Some sources say he went to the university, but he never graduated. But there's conflicting sources. They can't seem to get to the bottom of it. He is married. He has 2 girls and 2 boys. He has 3 kids. I'm sorry. 2 girls, 2 boys. He's married. Not sure what that is for because he has 4 kids. There are some kind of sketchy things about him. He tried to silence the press and some different issues there. So not exactly sure how upstanding the government in Turkey is. Everyone has their own issues, but those are your 3 world leaders. Okay, some interesting things about them. And so this week we did our last 3, and that is Brazil, Syria, and Turkey. And what you need to do is make sure that you have that list compiled and turn it in, and that's worth 50 points. So that's a great way to learn about our world leaders and also get some points. So thank you so much, and have a lovely evening.